It is 17 minutes past 9. Good morning, welcome to the programme. The media regulator Ofcom is going to hear from a US lawyer this afternoon who represents more than 20 people accusing Fox News in the States of racial or sexual harassment. It's part of a review into whether 21st Century Fox should be allowed to take complete control of Sky. Douglas Wigdor is due to give evidence on behalf of the men and women he's representing. Earlier this week, another lawyer and an alleged victim of sexual harassment by former Fox News anchor Bill O'Reilly also gave evidence to Ofcom. Here's a bit more on the background of the allegations against Mr. O'Reilly.
We have a contest on BillO'Reilly.com. Guess where Bill's going? I'll have a full report when I return.
But Bill O'Reilly wasn't coming back. He'd been the main presenter and biggest star on the US TV channel Fox News for 20 years. That came to an end last month when it emerged a number of women had made sexual harassment allegations against him at the company.
Fire Bill O'Reilly!
5 cases have been settled out of court by O'Reilly and Fox for around £10 million. One unnamed black colleague said O'Reilly called her hot chocolate and regularly made passes at her.
We are so happy that he is gone and he's no longer going to be able to spit all of his vile comments and everything that comes out of his mouth that's disparaging not only to women, but specifically to black women and to black folks all over the world.
One of O'Reilly's accusers reported her claims to Fox in early April.
In 2013, I experienced sexual harassment as a job applicant at Fox News Channel.
Wendy Walsh, a psychologist who appeared on O'Reilly's show, said she refused to join him in his hotel room after they'd had dinner. O'Reilly then allegedly withdrew a job he'd offered her. Fox initially stuck with O'Reilly, but several major sponsors pulled advertising as pressure mounted. At the end of April, parent company 21st Century Fox confirmed he'd been fired.
Give me one.
O'Reilly said it was tremendously disheartening to leave Fox over totally unfounded claims. It's not the first time the organisation has had to deal with sexual harassment claims. Last July, Fox News boss Roger Ailes resigned over similar allegations. The acting Fox News CEO, Rupert Murdoch, has tried to usher in a new era at the channel by issuing an internal memo, also signed by his sons, saying he is committed to fostering a work environment built on trust and respect. But Murdoch dismissed any concerns about the culture at Fox News.
Fox News are getting record ratings.
Yeah.
And so I'm not worried at all.
And you don't think Ofcom are going to consider what's happening at Fox News? Will it enter
Nothing's
their
happening at
considerations?
Fox News. Nothing. Okay.
It comes at a delicate time for Mr. Murdoch. 21st Century Fox is trying to buy the remaining 61% of Sky TV in the UK. The media regulator Ofcom is currently deciding whether the takeover should go ahead or not.
Earlier this week, Joanna spoke to Wendy Walsh, who you just saw in that short film. She was an unpaid guest on Bill O'Reilly's show and claims he sexually harassed her after a work dinner.
I received a phone call one day from a segment producer saying, "Oh, Bill O'Reilly just saw you on TV and he said, get that woman on my show." So I was an unpaid guest for 3 appearances, and then a Fox News employee sent me an email asking me would I have dinner with Mr. O'Reilly, who'd be flying into Los Angeles. He's the big boss. You can't say no, right? It's going to really ruin your career if you say no. So I said yes, thinking I'll keep it really business, and it's a good opportunity for me to talk about becoming a paid contributor. I didn't have to bring it up because early in the dinner he told me that Roger Ailes, the then chairman, was his good friend, and they were going to offer me a position as a paid contributor. So the dinner felt almost a celebratory dinner until we left. We walked out of the restaurant. I turned the left to go to the bar, thinking we're going to continue the conversation at the bar. He turned toward the right, toward the hotel rooms. This was at the Bel Air Hotel. When I said, "Oh, I think the bar's this way," he said, "No, come back to my suite." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that." And I said, "You know, we're both parents. We're raising girls. We have teenage daughters. Maybe we should model some good choices." And he said, "Oh, all right." And we got to the bar, and his demeanor changed from charming to hostile. And he said the words, "You can forget about all the career advice I gave you. You're on your own." So I knew that my days were limited there. And like so many victims of sexual harassment, we women think, well, I can fix this. I'll let him know I'm not litigious. I'm not going to sue. I'll send him lots of cringeworthy suck up to the boss emails. And in fact, they tried to defame me by leaking some of these emails. But eventually he had an executive producer get rid of me.
Did you raise it At the channel?
No, because for two reasons. You know, women of my generation, we almost are so accustomed to navigating around these landmines in our career that we've almost normalized sexual harassment. And I was just like, oh, another one. So I just sucked it up. Secondly, I didn't know as a job applicant that you can also have a case for sexual harassment. I thought, wow, can I call Fox Human Resources? I don't work there. So I didn't until a New York Times reporter contacted me a few months ago. She was doing an investigation and found out that Fox News had been quietly paying off many women for years with lots of different men who were sexually harassing women, and that they were all unable to talk because they were gag ordered. So I was in a unique position to tell the truth. And honestly, I had to make this ethical decision to lie to the New York Times to protect Bill O'Reilly and Fox News, or tell the truth and make workplaces better for our daughters.
Wendy Walsh. Let's talk now to Douglas Wigdor, who represents more than 20 current and former Fox News employees. He's here. You're in this country because you are giving evidence to the British media regulator this afternoon, are you not? Representing 21 alleged victims. Give our audience a sense of the kind of accusations that they're making.
Well, I do represent over 20 dedicated men and women who either worked or currently work at Fox News. I refer to 21st Century Fox actually as 18th Century Fox because of the systemic, wide-scale discrimination based on race and gender that's going on there. Let me give you a few examples. I represent a woman, Lydia Uchik, who went for an interview with Roger Ailes. At the interview, she was asked to turn around to see her appearance. He said he liked what he saw. He then called her ex-boyfriend and asked about their sex life and whether she put out. I represent the only black male anchor who tried to do positive stories on Black America, and he was met with resistance by Bill O'Reilly and by other people who are actually working for Fox News. And it's really reminiscent of what's going on with The Sun. I just read about this so-called journalist, Mackenzie, I believe his name is, who was writing, who referred to a footballer as a gorilla. That happened actually at the New York Post, another Murdoch-owned entity, where there was a cartoon of then President Obama depicted as a dead chimpanzee. It happened with my former client, Nafissatou Diallo, who is the maid in the Dominique Strauss-Kahn sexual assault rape case. They referred to her as a prostitute.
Let's not go into all the clients you've ever represented. You know that 21st Century Fox absolutely deny the kind of things that you've just described now. This is a statement from a few weeks ago. After a thorough and careful review of the allegations, the company and Bill O'Reilly have agreed that Bill O'Reilly will not be returning to the Fox News channel. They've got rid of Bill O'Reilly. They've got rid of Roger Ailes, the former CEO, who you just mentioned there. Rupert Murdoch, the acting CEO of the company, says nothing's happening at Fox. Ratings are going up. It's all sorted.
Well, that's why they really have an 18th century mentality, because the facts are, as we read, is that Bill O'Reilly and Mr. Ailes left with over $60 million.
How is that relevant? I mean, he denies the allegations. This is what he says. This is Bill O'Reilly. It is tremendously disheartening that we part ways due to completely unfounded claims. But that is the unfortunate reality many of us in the public eye must live with today.
Well, Victoria, if they deny the allegations, I would ask them to waive the confidentiality clauses that they've entered into with all the various victims so that the public can see what these people went through, because it is horrendous what they went through.
What they allege, which Bill O'Reilly and Roger Ailes deny.
And that's why Fox News has tried to pay these people off and bind them through confidentiality concerns.
You don't know that's
why. The other thing I would say, Victoria, is they've admitted to conduct. They've admitted to, in terms of our race cases, they have said that the comptroller, the head comptroller's behavior was abhorrent. They said that the allegations that were raised were legitimate and abhorrent. And what happened is that the head lawyer, the general counsel of Fox News, knew about these allegations as far back as 2008 and waited many, many, many years before they would do anything about it.
Bill O'Reilly's lawyer said he'd been subjected to, quote, a brutal campaign of character assassination being orchestrated by far-left organisations bent on destroying O'Reilly for political and financial reasons. Are you part of a left-wing organisation?
Well, if I am, somebody needs to tell me about it, because I'm a lifelong Republican. I've actually been on record as, during the presidential campaign against then Secretary Hillary Clinton, supporting Donald Trump. So I'd be hard-pressed to be someone to be characterized as part of a left-wing conspiracy.
Okay. What about other left-wing organisations? I mean, do you buy this attack from Bill O'Reilly's attorney?
You know, I don't. I think what people really want is equality in the workplace. And you have a systemic, widespread, industrial scale type of discrimination based on race, based on gender, at the very top levels. When you have a lawyer, who's still there, by the way, who has presided over all of these cases, I alone, as I said, represent over 20 people. Are they all lying? Are they all fabricating things? Obviously not.
Well, you can't say obviously not. You need to test it in a court of law.
Well, that's what...
What will you be saying to Ofcom today, the British media regulator? Why are you going to say to them 21st Century Fox shouldn't be allowed to buy the rest of Sky TV?
Well, first let me just say that I look forward to testing this in the court of law. One of the things that Fox wants to do...
Have your clients been to the police?
One of the things that Fox wants to do is actually get these cases into arbitration. They don't want to go into the court of law. Where they want to go is into a star chamber where nobody can watch the proceedings. They want to bind people to confidentiality.
Have any of your clients been to the police?
So I am all about a public airing of these issues. I've never lost a trial. This is not going to be the first one. That I can guarantee you.
You represent 21 of the alleged victims. Have any of those 21 been to the police?
These are not criminal acts. These are all civil acts, at least in America they are. So the answer to your question is no. These are all things that would be things that you can get in the civil system. So they haven't gone to the police. But I am going to Ofcom this afternoon. The reason I'm going to Ofcom is to talk to them about each of these cases. Obviously, in the time that we have, I can't get into all the detail. But I will get into the detail with them. And I'll let them assess those facts and decide what they want to do with those. But it paints a very bleak picture. And when you have Rupert Murdoch saying that there's nothing wrong with Fox because the ratings are good, really he has his head in the sand. I agree that we haven't proven the allegations yet, but with the admissions by Fox and the court proceedings will continue, hopefully in court, the public here and in America will get to see the legitimacy of these claims.
We'll see. Thank you.
Thank
you very much, Douglas Wigdor, representing 21 alleged victims of sexual and racial harassment, who will be talking to Ofcom, the British media regulator, here this afternoon. Also, still to come on the programme.